says a lot for the experienced British manager, doesn't it? I think it tells you that while a lot of foreign coaches have been selected by other clubs, that really on your doorstep there's enough quality, enough experience to be researched in this country to use and do the job in this very difficult league. And I think that he has proven beyond any question of a doubt these qualities and his talents as a manager. Contrary to what everybody says, his team does not play like his Stoke team did. There is some similarities, but he's got a bunch of players that are different to the ones he had at Stoke, and he gets the best out of them. And that's simply all you can do as a manager, is work with the tools that you've got and get the best out of them. Certainly he's doing that at the moment.
They're talking about him as a possibility for manager of the year. Is it a bigger achievement to do what he's done, or is it almost inevitably going to be somebody who's taking the team to the top?
Well, it depends really. I think that depends how everybody else sees it. I think that fashionably it'll be somebody at the top, won't it really? I think, but we'll have to wait and see. What I want to do is make Tony very disappointed on tomorrow afternoon. They've overtaken us in the league. They've got 40 points. We want to make sure by the end of the game on Saturday that we've got 40 points as well, and then we can really start our planning for next year. But he's done a great job, and he should get the credit he deserves. And I think that as ourselves, we'll both play right through a very competitive game to try and get as many points as we can. So we'll be all out to try and beat Crystal Palace tomorrow. It's another local derby, and one we've got to try and win for everybody, including our fans, of course.
We've had 2 games from you, but the second of those games you hinted at Everton, that was a tremendous. It might have taken more out of them, though.
Well, I mean, these players today, in terms of what we have behind the scenes, in terms of ourselves, we have super recovery systems now. I think that the way we scientifically approach the game, certainly from my point of view, the players from the minute they finish that game, they are getting prepared for the next game. And when it comes in a few days, it becomes a bigger and greater focus. So right from the very end of the game at Arsenal, we were preparing recovery themes for the players to make sure that they're ready. Tony will be doing exactly the same as most of the clubs do. And of course, when on a high, and they're on a terrific high at the moment, it's a pleasure to get up in the morning, to get in and to play football. And that's how Crystal Palace players feel. That's how we felt a couple of weeks ago, but now we want to try and stop the run of 2 defeats on the trot against 2 massive sides and try and put that right against a Crystal Palace. And I have to say, there's no difference in form terms between, or very little difference in form terms between Arsenal, Everton and Crystal Palace at this moment in time. In fact, the Crystal Palaces, if you look at the last few games, will probably be in the top 3 or 4 or 5 in the form table. So we cannot take them for granted. We cannot expect that they're going to lay down. They won't, and we cannot expect that it's going to be any easier. It just won't be.
Obviously, you said getting to 40 points as quickly as possible. You can start planning for life next season. Would you rather that comes sooner rather than later, from your point of view?
Of course, I think that we're very close against Liverpool for gaining more points. I'm not saying it would have been 3, but I think that we deserved at least a draw in that game. I think we didn't do ourselves the credit we needed to do against Arsenal by our poor defensive work in 3 occasions where Arsenal punished us to the hilt. I thought we'd mastered what they had to throw at us and kept probing and finally got the goal. Sadly, we gave that away, but let's be strong and solid tomorrow, and let's know who we're playing against. Let's use our brain in terms of how we've got to try and break Crystal Palace down, because every game is a different way to play to try and beat the opposition.